Okay, so the world is just relentlessly loud, isn't it? I mean, it feels like it's constantly bombarding us with expectations, opinions, endless comparisons.
Absolutely, nonstop noise.
Yeah, and from childhood, right? We're taught what to do, who we should be, how fast we need to get there.
Hmm.
You've got teachers mapping out paths, parents kind of projecting their fears onto you, friends giving their unfiltered opinions. And don't even get me started on social media. That whole parade of idealized lives.
Oh, totally. It's overwhelming.
It makes it so easy to get caught up in just pleasing everyone, comparing yourself, performing, and meanwhile, your actual potential, your unique way, it just sits there, untouched, like a blueprint gathering dust.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really intriguing stuff, key excerpts from an audiobook called Focus on Yourself Until You Win.
Sounds intense.
It is. Our mission here is to kind of cut through all that external noise, pull out the most powerful ideas, and really challenge a belief that society drills into us, one that might actually be holding you back.
And it's a fascinating premise. This deep dive, it's going to explore what the book basically calls an uncomfortable truth, but maybe a liberating one.
Which is?
That you will never win until you learn to focus on yourself. But, and this is key, the source is really careful to frame this not as arrogance, or pure selfishness,
Right.
but as something deeper, self-mastery. It's about building this inner strength, this clarity that actually makes you more capable of contributing, not less.
Yeah.
Because you're acting, not just reacting.
Self-mastery. I like that distinction. And it definitely pushes back against how we're usually taught to think, doesn't it? The book jumps right into that conflict in a chapter called The Controversy of Selfishness.
Yeah.
And think about it. From when we were kids, right? Share your toys, put others first, be nice.
Yeah.
Even if being nice means kind of betraying what you actually need or feel, what happens when you grow up marinated in that?
Well, exactly. The source points out that we often end up as adults who are constantly apologizing for wanting more, or we settle for less, or we just burn out trying to please everyone but ourselves.
Sounds familiar.
And it tackles that selfish label head on. There's this brilliant, sharp irony it points out. The people calling you selfish for chasing your goals, often they're the exact same ones who wouldn't lift a finger to sacrifice anything for you.
Oof. Okay, that lands. It definitely resonates.
It really does, because it kind of pulls back the curtain on a hidden dynamic.
Yeah.
The book uses that fantastic analogy, the airplane oxygen mask.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Right. The flight attendant never says, hey, run around and save everyone else first. No, it's put your own mask on first.
Okay.
Because if you pass out, you're no good to anyone. You can't help a single soul.
Yeah.
So the book argues focusing on yourself isn't selfish in that negative way. It's survival. It's strategy. It's actually about reclaiming your power.
That really does flip the script. And the author pushes it even further, saying something that sounds, well, pretty provocative at first. The world benefits from your weakness. What's behind that idea?
Yeah, it's a stark thought, isn't it? But the book isn't saying people are all bad. It's more about how systems are set up. Like, it gives examples. Maybe employers benefit from your exhaustion because you're too tired to negotiate or ask for what you're worth. Marketers definitely profit from insecurity, selling you fixes for problems you didn't know you had.
Right. Constantly creating needs.
Exactly. And then there's the subtle one, how sometimes even friends might, unconsciously maybe, benefit from your stagnation. Because if you stay small, well, they don't have to confront their own lack of growth.
Wow. So keeping you less than maintains a comfortable status quo for others. That's disruptive.
Totally disruptive. And the book says the day you truly decide to focus on yourself, you break that system. You become powerful. You become unpredictable. You become, and I love this phrase, dangerous to mediocrity.
Dangerous to mediocrity.
Yeah. And that's why this whole approach feels controversial. It rattles the comfort of those who maybe subconsciously prefer you small and manageable. It forces everyone, including yourself, to reevaluate things. And that means it's often uncomfortable.
Okay, that's a massive shift in perspective. But let's get practical. In a world basically designed to distract us 24/7, how do you actually do that? How do you focus? How do you reclaim that inner space? The book covers this in a section called Silence the Noise.
Right. And this part defines distraction as the greatest thief of destiny. It's not just, your phone buzzing. It's that whole vortex of scrolling, comparing, doubting yourself, putting things off until your dreams just kind of fade into regret.
Been there.
Haven't we all? But the book argues the secret weapon of winners isn't always raw talent. It's focus. Focus is more valuable than talents. Think about the greats. Jordan, Musk, Serena Williams,
Mm.
it wasn't just talent or smarts or practice. It was their relentless, almost obsessive discipline and focus. Without that laser beam concentration, all the other gifts can just get scattered.
It really makes you pause and consider how much noise, external and internal, we just tolerate, day in, day out.
Absolutely. And the book talks about the art of silence, which isn't just like turning off notifications or avoiding gossip. That's part of it. But it's also about cultivating internal silence. Silencing those opinions that don't actually serve your goals. Silencing that inner critic that's always whispering, "You're not ready," or "Who do you think you are?"
That inner voice can be the loudest.
Totally. So the core idea is carving out what it calls sacred hours. Time each day where your energy is just for you. No texts, no mindless scrolling, no reacting, just you and your purpose. Because, as the author puts it, when you finally clear away the static, you start to hear the sound of your own power.
Sacred hours. I like that. Quieting the noise sounds crucial for focus. But the book suggests there's another layer, something maybe even more fundamental that we often skip over. It's in the chapter, Heal Before You Hustle. Why is dealing with our past stuff so important before we dive into chasing success?
Oh, this is such a critical point, especially now when it's all hustle culture, right? Grind, grind, grind.
Yeah, ignore everything else? Well,
But the book gives this really stark warning. You cannot build an empire on broken foundations. It paints these pictures, like imagine chasing money, but deep down you have this scarcity mindset from childhood. You'll likely find ways to lose it or feel unworthy of it.
self-sabotage.
Exactly. Or wanting love, but carrying old betrayals into every new relationship, subconsciously pushing good people away. Or wanting recognition, but being secretly terrified of criticism because of past rejection. The book says these unhealed wounds just create these repeating patterns that trip you up right when you get close to winning.
So it's like trying to run a race with hidden weights strapped to your ankles.
Precisely. The author uses this great analogy. Two warriors getting ready for battle. One just rushes in, all fired up, but their shield is cracked, their sword is dull. The other takes the time, sharpens the blade, mends the shield, steadies their spirit. Who's got the better chance?
The prepared one, obviously.
Right, so the message is, healing is not weakness, it's power. It gives you a cleaner drive, a sharper focus. It makes your success more sustainable, more permanent. You're building on solid ground, not quicksand.
That warrior image is really strong. Which leads us to another potentially tough truth the book tackles in Chapter 4, the loneliness of growth. People don't really talk about how isolating self-improvement can feel, do they? We just see the shiny results.
No, I really don't. And the book is brutally honest here. It basically says, look, as you grow, you will outgrow some friends, especially those who are comfortable staying put. You will shed relationships that were built on your old, maybe weaker self, and you will be misunderstood.
Yep.
People won't get your vision, or maybe they'll even feel threatened by your progress.
That sounds hard.
It is. The source acknowledges that growth feels like abandonment sometimes, and people might label you, oh, you've changed, or you're arrogant now, treating your growth like it's an insult, when really you're just protecting your focus and honoring your path.
So feeling lonely isn't necessarily a red flag that you're off course.
Quite the opposite, according to this source. It might be a sign you're on the right track. And this is where the book reframes loneliness beautifully. It's not emptiness, it's space.
Space.
Yeah, space for your new self to emerge. Space for discipline to take root. Space for success to blossom. It even points to history. Think of leaders or innovators like Jesus in the wilderness or Steve Jobs during those quiet periods before huge breakthroughs. They needed that solitude to focus.
You just embrace the space.
Exactly. Stand firm in those lonely moments. Because as the book suggests, the same people doubting you now might later whisper your name in admiration, or even secretly look to you for proof that change is possible. Your journey becomes their quiet inspiration.
Reframing loneliness as necessary space. That's powerful, and it connects right into another big idea from the book, discipline is love. Now, discipline usually gets such a bad rap, right? Like it's punishment, a chore.
Totally. We think of it as harsh restriction.
But this source flips that completely. It offers this radical, almost gentle view.
It really does. It starts by contrasting fragile motivation. You know, that feeling that comes and goes, that burst of inspiration that fades with what it calls eternal discipline.
Okay, so what is discipline in this view?
It's defined as like waking up early even when nobody is watching. It's saying no to short-term pleasure for long-term power. It's repeating small, consistent actions until greatness becomes your normal. It's that quiet, steady commitment day in, day out.
It sounds less like forcing yourself and more like making a promise.
That's exactly it. That's the core insight, the real light bulb moment. Discipline is actually self-love in action.
Wow. Say more about that.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
When you choose discipline, getting up for that workout, turning down a distraction, pushing through a tough task,
Yeah.
you're essentially sending a message to your future self. You're saying, hey, I love you enough to make this sacrifice for you today. I'm building a better future for you.
That changes everything about how you see it.
Right. It explains why those super successful people seem almost unstoppable. It's not usually because they're just born different or always feel motivated. It's their discipline. It's that consistent act of self-love that makes showing up, even on hard days, non-negotiable. It makes success almost inevitable.
Okay, so let's say you're doing all this. You're focusing, you're healing, you're disciplined, you've maybe weathered some loneliness. What happens when you actually do start achieving that success you worked for? The book doesn't gloss over the tricky parts, right? It talks about controversial success.
No, it dives right into another one of those hard truths. Not everyone deserves access to the successful version of you.
Ooh, okay. That sounds harsh, but maybe necessary.
It can feel harsh, yeah, but the book explains why it's crucial. Success, it warns, often acts like a magnet. It will attract leeches, people who weren't there during the struggle but suddenly show up wanting a piece of the pie or
Yeah.
your time or your energy.
Right, the fair weather friends.
Exactly. And it will expose jealousy, sometimes from people you thought were your biggest supporters who maybe secretly hope you wouldn't surpass them. And it reveals the fake supporters, the ones who clap, but only when your success benefits them somehow. Success forces a kind of uncomfortable audit of your relationships.
So reaching the goal isn't the end game. You have to actively protect it.
Yeah,
How does the book suggest you do that?
it's very direct. Protect your success. Guard your focus. Share your energy with wisdom. It really emphasizes that your primary loyalty has to be to your purpose, to your vision, not necessarily to people who try to hold you back or who now just drain you.
Makes sense.
It's not about building walls just to be difficult. It's about discernment. It's about protecting the very focus and energy that got you to where you are. That empire of one you're building, it's valuable real estate, and you get to curate the guest list.
Empire of One. That leads perfectly into how you actually build that foundation day to day. The section Building Your Empire of One. Beyond the big mindset shifts, what does this look like practically? How do you lay those bricks?
Yeah, the book brings it right down to earth here. It stresses that it all starts internally. Before you conquer the world, you must conquer yourself.
The inner game first.
Always. And it lays out these really practical cornerstones. First, master your mornings. Start your day with intention, owning that first hour, instead of immediately reacting to emails or social media chaos.
Set the tone.
Exactly. Second, control your thoughts. Recognize that your mind shapes your reality. Is it working for you or against you? Third, guard your habits. Because what you do consistently, day after day, literally becomes who you are. Habits build the structure.
Small actions, big results.
Precisely. And finally, manage your energy like currency. Treat it as a precious, finite resource. Don't just give it away to people, activities, or even thoughts that don't align with your values or contribute to your growth. Be intentional about where it goes.
Energy as currency. That's a powerful frame.
It really is. And the section wraps up with this potent idea. Your empire doesn't begin with followers, money, or applause. None of that external stuff is the starting point. It begins with one internal, often really difficult decision. I will not betray myself again. That commitment to your own truth, your own path, that's the actual foundation stone. Everything else builds on that.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot. From seeing self-mastery as vital for survival, not selfishness, to the practical need to silence the noise both outside and inside, the absolute necessity of healing before hustling, embracing the sometimes lonely path of growth, understanding discipline as a profound act of self-love, and finally protecting the empire of one you're building with intention. It's really a whole roadmap.
It truly is. It connects all the dots in the final chapters, The Day You Win and The Faceless Legacy. They really crystallize the whole thing. Winning, the book argues, isn't some finish line you cross once. It's a daily decision.
A daily decision.
Yeah. Victory is built in every single choice you make to stay focused on yourself. Choosing health, refusing to settle, silencing doubt, showing up for your purpose that is winning every day. And the ultimate prize discussed in The Faceless Legacy isn't fame or external validation. It's deeper. It's a profound transformation within you. It's about becoming, as the book puts it, the kind of person who refused to quit, living with integrity to your highest self, whether anyone notices or not.
That's a really powerful way to frame success as an internal state, a way of being, not just an external outcome. So, thinking about everything we've unpacked today, what choice are you, the listener, making today? How will you choose to focus on yourself, not out of selfishness, but for that deep internal transformation? The kind that could not only change your own life profoundly, but maybe, just maybe, serve as the quiet inspiration someone around you desperately needs to see as possible. Something to think about.